talk a little bit now about my thoughts on this action. Priest Precision in 6.5 Creedmoor, and a couple of the things. I'm going to go over the good, the bad. There's not really any ugly, but maybe a little bit more bad about this action. Overall impressions, I like it. It's a great action. It's just got some quirks, I guess you could say. So I'm going to roll in some B-roll of both me shooting it and my buddy John at the local match in December. He had his in 25 GT. So I got some video of him shooting that match and talk about kind of some of the things with that. So first of all, the good. I mean, this action, guys, it's smooth. It runs well. I don't know. It's a good action. It's a good action. Okay. I like it. Would I buy another one? Absolutely. I already put my order in for the light, so I'll be looking for that to come. I think they said they're 6 to 8 weeks out on that. But so it works well. Now, some of the bad things. Number one, and this, full disclosure, Ted talks about this. This isn't hidden. It wasn't unexpected, but it's still kind of an annoyance. And that's, maybe it's not even good, bad, and ugly. It's kind of like, it's good, and then there's some annoying. All right. So with the action, it is optimized for AI AW. I have now ordered AW mags from like 3 or 4 places that say they have them in stock, and then 3-4 days later they cancel my order because they're not in stock. So I'm having a hard time getting a hold of some AW mags, and so I thought, I'm just gonna make some AICS mags work. Now, what you'll see here, I've got 40 rounds on this is all. I had some range brass, guys, okay? And this is probably more a testament to Priest Precision and getting a good gunsmith to do your gun work, because I had range brass that I picked up as an RO in 6.5 Creedmoor. Different head stamp. It was some Lapua, some Norma, a couple pieces of Alpha. Some large primer, some small primer, but just range brass. I put in just a pretty mild charge of 4350, and I used some Hornady boat tail hollow point 140s. When I picked these up last summer, they were on sale or something for like $29 a box, so I picked up a bunch. My 260 didn't really like them, but this thing, so I actually had loaded them up for my 260, about 100 projectiles, and then I pulled them after I went out a couple times, and it just didn't like it, so I pulled them. So I was using range brass, different manufacturers of brass, different primers of brass, and bullets that I pulled from another cartridge. And this thing, with just a made-up load, as you can see here, it's half minute on the first 40 rounds, and we shot it out to about 480 yards, and I put in about a 3-inch group. And as you can see here, we're just smacking this still here. But part of the problem is my MDT ACC Premier, so the original one, not the newer one, does not have an adjustable mag latch, okay? And so we had the magazine in there just to keep the bullet from falling down, and then we were single feeding for all those 40 rounds. I couldn't get it to work at all, and I hadn't played with it before we went out to get it adjusted. I thought it'd be close, but so that's kind of the annoyance, or the bad. Number one is if you're going to run AICS, you're probably going to have to modify, most likely going to have to modify the mag latch. Now, Ted says this, not a big deal, but the amount that I had to modify it was a little bit shocking. So I contacted MDT, and they sent me out 2 different length mag latches, and they had them marked, and the shortest one was still too long. I ended up having to take another about 20 to 30 thousandths off, just on with my belt sander, off that mag latch to get it to work properly. And now it works. My problem with that is, if I want to switch a different gun back into that chassis, I have to change the mag latch back, and it was kind of a pain, I'm not gonna lie, to get the MDT chassis their mag latch in and out. It was just kind of annoying. It took me a bit. I got it out. I had to take it out, put it in multiple times, test fitment and everything. So what I did is I threw it in my MPA BA lightweight. So this chassis, I love it. It's about 2.5 pounds, and it has an adjustable mag latch, and it's MPA. I love it. It's pretty awesome. Probably going to be my NRL Hunter chassis this year. I've been shooting the factory division the last couple of years. I think I'm going to switch to just light. I'm trying to get a gun built for light, and that's where that new CDG lightweight's going to go. Anyway, I adjusted the mag latch as low as it would go, and it still wouldn't. And these were with MDT mags as well as some polymer MDT mags. So the metal mags and the polymer ones. Couldn't get them. The polymer would latch, but then the feed lips would block the bolt from operating. So I had to, I contacted MPA as well, because I know that they're using this action in their factory build. That's about $3,000, stays under that $3,000 mark for PRS. So I asked them, and they said that they're using, I believe, AICS mags or accurate mags. I can't remember, but they haven't had that issue with their adjustable latch. So again, I took about 20 thousandths off of that, both the adjustable part and the standard part. And that way, I can still, the good thing with that is, if I lower it all the way down, I can use my CDG action, Coup de grace, as I've been corrected. Thank you all for watching and commenting on that, on my pronunciation of the Coup de grace. See, I think I said it wrong again. Coup de grace. Anywho, so that's working now, but I did have to adjust it. It was a lot easier to adjust or to remove and work on. So that's number one. Number two is, I'm sure a lot of you who have the action, they changed the extractor design. I don't know, they had the spring with the little ball, and they were having issues with it, and now it's a spring with a pin, but they changed the extractor. So I put the new one in, and I was getting binding on my coned breech. So that's kind of the annoyance number two, is the coned breech. And that's not a bad thing, and any competent gunsmith can do it. My gunsmith opted to use a tool instead of using, I'm not a machinist, I don't know how else you would do it, but he got a specific tool to cut that cone. And that took some time for him to get the tool in. They sent the wrong tool. That's just how building guns with a gunsmith goes sometimes. But he got that all sorted out. The new extractor has a slightly different geometry on the back, and it's rubbing. And so I spent probably 2 hours between putting some Sharpie on there, putting it in, seeing where it's rubbing, and then filing, sanding, buffing it out. And it works now. It's smooth again, but again, it's just a little annoying. And that's kind of what I'm seeing with this action, is it may, and everybody's mileage is going to vary, it may require some tinkering. Now, I like tinkering. I don't mind tinkering. But if this is like your only gun, that can be annoying, or your first custom. So just be aware of that. Make sure, and now they've got that the extractor issue all sorted out. So all the actions shipping now should be good. So when your gunsmith fits up a barrel, it should be good. But that's going to have to be something that maybe the pre-fit market has got to compensate for. I don't know. I haven't used the new extractor shooting. I mean, I've ran some dummy rounds through it, and it works it works fine. But it's just a little annoying, and that's kind of the theme that I'm starting to get into with this action. Now we'll see if I've got all the kinks worked out. I think I do. And so when I go out shooting it next time, it's probably going to be phenomenal. The third annoyance, and this is the only thing that could possibly be borderline ugly, if you will, has to do with the ejection. And this is not just the coup de grace. Coup de grace. Sorry, see, I'm just still trying to say coup de grace. It's any action that has an inertial ejector. So my Bighorn Origin does this, but not as bad, I don't think. My action in the 40 rounds that I ran, they all came out at 3 o'clock. I didn't have anything go forward of the firing line. And you'll see that, and we ran in some slow, some medium, and some super fast right here. And this is my my other buddy helping me out up in Idaho. And I didn't have any go forward. Now, if you watch some of this footage from the match in December, John, with his, he had like one, sometimes two pieces on every stage that would go either just to the firing line or possibly forward of the firing line. And his ejection pattern was pretty erratic. And this is just an inertial ejector. There's no getting away from that. That's just how they operate. So if this is strictly PRS, the ugly part is you're probably going to lose more brass than other actions. And I think this is probably the biggest reason a lot of competitors don't go with this type of action. They go with like a Lone Peak and Impact, all those kind of actions that have a pretty standard ejection pattern. Like my Lone Peak, when I'm shooting it, it'll pile in a very small, 4-inch circle. All the brass goes to the exact same spot every time. Now, is that really ugly? I don't know. That's, if I were going to label this good, bad, and ugly, that's kind of what it'd be. The good being that this gun is shooting awesome, and the action itself, it's smooth. It's the pivoting bolt handle. I do have the pivoting bolt handle with the Trigger Tech Diamond, and I don't set my diamonds too low. It's probably a little over a pound, maybe 1.1, 1.2 pounds. Haven't had any issues. I've dry fired it hundreds of times, making sure I wasn't going to have any issues with that, because if you go on their website, American Rifle Company does say with some of the lighter triggers, use the fixed bolt handle. So I have the fixed and I have the pivoting, but I'm running the pivoting, and I like the feel of the pivoting better. It's a good looking action, and it works, right? The tolerances, I only have a sample size of 1. My gunsmith is chambered up, I think, 3 or 4. He hasn't checked them against each other to see how they compare headspace wise, but online it seems to be that the prefits are working. So it's a quality action. It's smooth, nothing too crazy. It's just you got to tinker a little. You may have to tinker a little. You might not. You might get yours and have 0 issues, and with an adjustable latch, the AICS works perfectly, no problem. Mine, I have not been able to do that. I've had to tinker with mine, both with the mag latch and the extractor, just little things. They're not huge. So, if you're looking at this action for the price, I don't know of any other action out there that comes with these feature sets that work as good. And yeah, would I get another one? Absolutely. Like I said, I've already got the light ordered, and I'm excited for that. We'll be sure to bring you some content on that. Anyway, let me know how you guys like that, and stick around. I've got a few videos coming with the Lone Peak actions. I'll be working on them. Should have them coming out a little bit more regularly. I know it's been a while, and I appreciate all your patience. Thanks for sticking around, and thanks for shooting the BC with me.